What's up? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. This video is a buy or pass video for Storm Collectibles action figure Tekken King here on the sideshow.com website. This figure is an 8-inch figure and it's $115 here on this website, with a layaway flex starting at $51.75 a month. Now, I'm not being paid to talk about sideshow.com or Storm Collectibles, so I want to be upfront about that in particular to let you know that this is my honest thoughts on this item. I think $115 is very expensive for an 8-inch action figure, given the fact when you're looking at, say for example, Todd McFarlane with 7-inch action figures for the DC Multiverse that come with accessories. Not all of them, but most of them come with some sort of accessory, and indeed it's an inch shorter, which I completely understand. The fact that they're in and around $20 and this is $115 is a very hard pill to swallow. The thing is with the Storm Collectibles, particularly because they have the license for Tekken and Mortal Kombat, it seems to be that they are the only company that are making articulated action figures like this. Now, in mind, you have to keep Todd McFarlane there, who's also doing the Mortal Kombat action figures from Mortal Kombat 11. So I don't know whether that is a specific license that he has just for Mortal Kombat 11. But when you pair them, for example, his Mortal Kombat figures against the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figures, the Storm Collectibles are far superior. They are way more articulated, they can move, they come with a lot of accessories, and overall I think they're just a nicer build quality. So Storm Collectibles have that 100% over Todd McFarlane. The pre-order is up and it says it's expected to ship July 2022 to September 2022. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one drop. I'm someone that has the Tekken Kazuya, and I also then have a multiple number of ninjas that come from Storm Collectibles from the Mortal Kombat line. They basically just repainted most of the ninjas and gave them in a different box with different names, and essentially that's exactly what Mortal Kombat do, repaints. Looking here at the King action figure, they're talking about this action figure, and I think this is great to see this little blurb, this little bio about King, because this is a very interesting character, and there are a number of things that I like about this character, not only his design but also the background that this character has. King was a street brawling orphan who only cared about fighting until he was saved by the Marquez priest after a near-death experience. Upon a full recovery, King sought to begin a new life and put the violence from his past behind him. He became a Catholic priest and had a dream of building an orphanage for children to save them from becoming the fighter he used to be. After successfully building the orphanage, King encountered financial issues as funds were tight. To provide income, King fought in wrestling matches wearing his iconic jaguar mask to conceal his identity. He became known as the Beast Priest and eventually learned of the King of the Iron Fist tournament, which he entered to win the large cash prize for the orphanage. So a great character. The fact that he's a Catholic priest as well too was very interesting to me. Daredevil is probably my favourite Marvel character, so you can see the running trend between those two characters being that they have a huge interest in Catholicism. And as stated there in the bio, he is the Beast Priest. Look at the size of this character. Now, I know with it being an 8-inch figure, it is going to look large anyway, but the width of this character is pretty interesting. It's not scrawny to say the least, and he has massive boots. And I will give Storm Collectibles a little bit of slack. I'll cut them a little bit of slack in saying that a lot of the figures that they do are unique molds. So barring the ninjas from Mortal Kombat, Paul Phoenix is going to be a unique mold. Kazuya was a unique mold. Jin Kazama was a unique mold. Heihachi was a unique mold. So I do understand that it does cost money to put those molds into action and to put these figures out. And these figures aren't being sold at mass retail. These are pretty specialist figures. I would suggest something maybe to Storm Collectibles if they were listening, which is Hasbro are talking about doing windowless packaging at the moment. You guys feature a window. If you guys were to take the window away and you were to reduce the price of the figure, that would be excellent. That's something that Hasbro have said that they will do. However, they haven't. They've taken the window away and they've increased the price, which has driven a lot of customers away. Now, I will understand, and I do understand, that people like to have the window packaging because some people are inbox collectors. Totally understand that. What you could do to get around that though is to provide an outstanding piece of artwork that could accompany the figure. That's where I'd go with that. So anyway, this is King here, posed up, looks great. The articulation for this figure looks absolutely phenomenal. But I will say this, again, looking at the price, $115. These are the accessories. So he comes with a cape, he comes with a footing effect, and then he has these pairs of hands here. So you have 8 hands in total. Now, I think that that is a very little amount of accessories, particularly at that price range. So you can see where I'm coming at from there. I do understand this is a unique mold as things stand, and that it probably costs an awful lot to get this into production. However, I would have liked to see, say for example, maybe an alternate head, maybe even an Armor King mask that he could hold, maybe even a wrestling belt, something like that that could have just added to this set, and that you could pump it up and say, okay, well, that $115 is a little bit more digestible. At this moment, I don't feel that $115 is entirely worth it if you're someone that has a passing interest in this character. Me, on the other hand, I have a massive interest in this character. As you can see here, going through the pictures, some nice images there with the alternate hands that he possesses, with him looking around. I mean, the Beast Priest is definitely something that is very accurate when talking about this character. I mean, the width is absolutely outstanding. The one thing about the Tekken figures, for sure, when you're standing beside the Mortal Kombat figures from Storm Collectibles, the Tekken figures absolutely dwarf them. They're very built, and I have to say that's one thing where there are obviously a lot of materials going towards this character. I like the cape as well. The cape looks pretty cool. I'd be interested to see whether this is kind of stuck on, or whether this might be embroidered, or what way they're going to do this with the cape. Again, it looks like a plastic cape, which isn't fantastic. I would have liked to see a soft goods cape, because I think that they are much better looking just in general, and maybe even if they could have featured, say for example, a wire that was in it, because it could have given you a different look then for this character. But nice cape nonetheless. Here's some King action figure poses here, and he's doing his roar, looks absolutely fantastic. Here he is fighting Kazuya. Kazuya is doing a face plant there, and then it's moving on into one of King's special moves there. A lot of people probably think that looks suspect, to be fair. And then I like this here on the sole of the boot there. It kind of looks like an animal paw print, something I never noticed before, but these type of images really help then to kind of break down the character. I think this is fantastic, the way you can see it's balancing on one leg. I think that that's always a show of a good sturdy figure, and a lot of people will have them in that pose, because for example, if you had Kazuya or Heihachi or even Paul Phoenix that's coming along, you could have them in a taking a kick pose. Yoshimitsu should be on their radar very soon, I would imagine. That's a guy with some fantastic design choices and some different design choices that they could definitely push out there, so I'd be interested to see what they do with that. Here's the footing effect there for King's hand. It looks okay. I'm not absolutely delighted with that. I think that's kind of a bit of a waste of an accessory. It doesn't look fantastic from that angle now, I'll be quite honest with you there. I think he looks much better when he's standardly on his own, and they're going into one of King's signature moves here. I think this looks like a good item, I have to say. I'm very interested in it. I really do like King as a character. $115 though is a very tough pill to swallow, particularly when you're looking at some of the prices of other figures out there that might be a little bit more manageable. I'm consistently surprised that Tekken hasn't done its own version, say for example of like a Marvel Legends line or DC Multiverse line, where they're a little bit cheaper and are more there for general consumption and mass retail. I think that that would help Tekken to be even bigger of a game than it already is. I know, for example, in the Far East that it is a huge game, it is absolutely massive, but I think maybe over here in the West it might be something that they could push forward a little bit more. It would be something I would like to see, because Mortal Kombat kind of holds that dominant space of the fighting game over in the West, and at the moment with the story and some of the stuff that NetherRealm are doing, it's just not interesting to me. But anyway, going back to King here, I think this looks fantastic. I'm going to say something controversial here, which is this is going to be a buy for me, and that's purely because I like the character. If it was another character, say for example, I don't know, Nina, or maybe even Harang, I don't think $115 is going to entice me, it's going to bring me in. Do you know what I mean? So I think for Storm Collectibles here, their character choices are very interesting, and I do indeed think that they have to get them right. If I was them now, they probably will do this in the future, given the fact that they utilised and used the ninjas in the past. They might use this as a partial remold, retool for Armor King. I would be highly expecting Armor King to be coming after this maybe change the flesh tone. You give them some additional accessories here, different mask, maybe even the same mask with just a repaint there, for example, like the scarf for Armor King, and they can call it a day. I hope that there's more to it than that, but I wouldn't be shocked if you see an awful lot of this being reused then for Armor King. And then if you're talking about that, then just going down the line, if that was to be in and around the same price, I think again people would look at it and say that was a lot of money spent for these two figures. I do ultimately think I will buy this, and I think it looks like a very nice item. It's very light on accessories, which is the only problem that I have, particularly at that price. So let me know what you think in the comments. Is it something you're going to buy yourself, or are you going to pass on it yourself? Let me know what you think of this character. Is it a character that you're a fan of, or would you have preferred to see a different character come up first here in the Storm Collectibles line rather than King? Who would you like to see next? I know that Paul Phoenix is coming next in terms of a pre-order, but who would you like to see be announced that's going to be maybe a different mold or a different look than this character? I know someone that might be a Harang fan might be saying, oh no, Ninja Knight, you're supposed to be talking about him in a good way. Personally, I'd like to see Yoshimitsu. I think Yoshimitsu would be an awesome character to see in the Storm Collectibles line. And I think maybe for fans out there, with the current situation at the time, maybe they might be looking at these collectibles and be cherry picking, kind of like I am. Are you one of those people that's doing it also? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.